Welcome back. It's another lady of the house kind of day, and today I am going to focus on my family room. But before we get into that, I wanted to share with you this new printable that I have, which is over on Patreon, and it is taking the place of my weekly newsletter for this week. And I'm going to do that from time to time if I have a printable or something to share a little bit extra of. Then I'm going to make it available to everyone. So this is available to everyone. If you would like it, just head over there. That's the place where I can put my printables, and anyway, you should be able to find it over there. So, you know, I have wanted to do this for quite some time now, but I've just kept putting it off. And I'm so happy to have finally just sat down and put everything on paper in the order that I would like it to be, and as things have suited me over the years, and just what I feel is what I would call the lady of the house method. Okay, it is time to get into the game cabinet because it's quite a mess, and I'm looking forward to just going through everything, seeing what things we use, what things have just been shoved in there, and getting it to be much more functional for my family. The way that I have this right now is just the chairs are kind of in front of this, and then whenever it's going to be used, I go ahead, or whoever's in here turns them around and faces the TV area. So I'm going to move these out of the way. There are a lot of things over here that do not need to be over here. So we have this towel, we have all of these extra pillows in here, just a lot of extra things that really need to be gone through. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of here. This is a game table or a card table that the kids were using at one point. Here's one side. Here's another side. Now it's time to take everything out and then to get to work. Do you just really not look forward to going through? And it's because of all of the things. I think that this space is the worst for me to go through. It's one thing when you are playing with the kids to, you know, sit there and say, okay, make sure that you put all of this away. But then if they're going to be playing the games by themselves, then it's like, how do you stay on top of all of that? It becomes so much for me that I would just rather not have the games to begin with, because then I don't have to spend my time doing this. So while to some that may sound like, you know, I'm the party pooper or whatever, it's just the way of things. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I don't love games. I don't know. Anyway, little side note there. I'm very, very irritated with this whole thing. I'm really trying to put on a happy face right now, but just between you and me, this is the worst thing to clean out. So right now I'm just looking at all of this, wondering if, number one, all of the pieces are with the games, and number two, what kind of things to even keep in here. We have such a mix of cards, and I can't tell you how many times new card decks have been brought in, so I just don't even know where to go from here. You know what it's time for? It's time for a break, because what is with all of these little pieces? What do I do with all this stuff? I don't know what to do with all this. I really don't. I have not even taken everything out, but I can tell you right now that this kind of stuff just frustrates me. Okay, let's talk about where we are at this point. I have a VHS player along with a camcorder, things that I don't want to keep in this area anymore. So all of these wires, electronics, things that Jorge is going to need to go through, and a broken computer, all of this stuff does not belong in this cabinet. So we are just going to have games in here, games, and then there are some movies right there. I don't know what to do with those at this point. And I need to open up this one right here to put those pieces for the game in there. However, in this drawer, the top one, this is where we're going to have the batteries, a flashlight, and then the headset, all of the controllers, and then down here we have all of the cards. And there are some cassettes in here as well. I don't know if these should stay in here or if I should give it to him to put with all of this stuff, if he's going to have a specific space for that. But this is where we're at right now. Done, I feel so much better, because there are those things that just I find to be more difficult for me to do, and I think all of us have those little things. So earlier this month I shared over on Patreon just cleaning out, decluttering the dishes that I have within my kitchen, and then I reorganized some things, especially the upper cabinets. So today I am going to, and yesterday over on Patreon I decluttered the dishes that I had in my hutch. So I would love to continue this by just streamlining the things that I have in different drawers, at the bottom. So I don't have much to do, but I just want to come in here, do that really quickly, because there are spaces within our kitchens that seem to constantly get out of order, out of sorts frequently. So I have those drawers that I want to just tidy up, clean up, take out anything that doesn't belong in there, and then also my refrigerator. I don't necessarily recommend doing all of these things in a day, but while I'm feeling this way, while I just want, it's almost like when you are just done, you're done with certain things, it's a good time to utilize that energy to do something productive. So that is what I'm trying to do today. Even when I'm just feeling down about certain things and just overwhelmed and frustrated, pushing through that and just working through the mess, working through the chaos, sometimes that is the best medicine. And you know, when you need to stop, take a breather, that is fine. And it's like when I was working with the mess in the game cabinet, all at once it feels very overwhelming to me, and when I have everything laid out like that. But as I work through it, it can be done. It is something that's frustrating to me, but it's something that just one little step at a time I can work through and get through and feel wonderful about once that is completed. So it's a really big boost in my energy and just my overall attitude, I feel. So I feel a lot more confident coming into the kitchen to go through some of these spaces in here, and then that will set me up for a wonderful month to come. So I hope that all of this is inspiring to you today. Thank you for sticking with me as I went through all of my frustrations that I do with all of that. And you know, sometimes we can utilize that to our advantage. So for instance, as the lady of the house, you know what areas does your own family struggle with? For mine, it's especially games, I would say, and just putting things back. They don't have the same kind of care for things that maybe another person would when it comes to keeping pieces together and everything. So if somebody were to ask, what would your kids love for Christmas or something, or for their birthday, I would never say games, because it is such a point of frustration, not only for myself, but in trying to have the kids stay on top of those things. So, you know, when I feel sometimes that people try to push their interests on other people because it's something that they enjoy so much, but it's not necessarily something that would work well for you and your household. So I think that it's really good when we work through our feelings on that and just being able to be more assertive when it comes to making a decision about something, saying that, you know what, this is our capacity that we have when it comes to games. This is all I can deal with. This is all that our household can deal with. And the same with the kitchen space. Figure out what kind of things, and this goes for anything, figure out what is manageable for you, because ultimately it's something that you are going to have to deal with and monitor and manage. And I think that that's the most important thing, is figuring out what we can manage so that it doesn't become too overwhelming, because of course we have things that are definitely overwhelming to us, especially when they get out of sorts, but not so much that I wasn't able to work through it. So that's something that I think we should all keep in mind. And I think we will be much better off, even in those moments of frustration, for that. So let's get in this kitchen, clean out the bottom drawers and then the refrigerator, and call it a day. Okay, so in here, I don't really have much that needs to be sorted through, maybe reorganized a bit, but I'm not going to focus on that drawer today. This one I could definitely reorganize, take out things that I don't use, utilize the space better, so I'm going to do that. And then down here, oh my goodness, see, I haven't opened this today. This definitely needs to be cleaned out as well. So I'm going to do that. And then the last thing is this spice drawer right here. I feel like I just recently did this. I feel like I just recently did the whole kitchen, but you know, like I said, things get out of sorts. So we need to just put everything back in order. And then in the refrigerator, this can just be tidied up and little spills cleaned up here and there, but mainly just tidying it up because tomorrow I am going to be going grocery shopping. It feels really good to get this fridge organized and cleaned out. I did a nice thorough clean of everything. And then these drawers are cleaned out as well. I have some groceries to get and some space to put things. And then I also cleaned this space up, and as this is utilized through the week, it constantly needs attention because things fall and I need to wipe it out from time to time. And so I also want to take some time this week to redo all the writing on there because a lot of those things do not coincide with what is inside of them. But I'll just need to get the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol, and take that off of there. And the last space that I wanted to do was this, which I don't feel it looks that much different, but just taking a few things out really did make a difference and made it to where it's a lot easier to access the things that are within. So that is it. That is all I have the time and energy for today, but I really hope that this inspired you in some way. And if you are interested in the housekeeping list for the week, a week at a glance, please head over to Patreon. I have that ready for you to print out. And with that, I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much for being with me and spending this time with me. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, everyone.